Please bow with me. Our loving Lord, we praise you for who you are and for who you allow us to be in you. Lord, I thank you for all the hard work that's gone into making this tournament possible. I pray that you'll be with each participant in the tournament, that you will guide them and that you will protect them and help them to do their very best. Be with all the fans, that we may show good character and integrity. Father, we just thank you for the way that you've blessed us. These things we pray in your precious name, Lord. Amen.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Let's meet our honorary coaches. For Mount Vernon Nazarene, Brad LaCour and Shirley LaCour of Allstate Insurance and Parade of Homes. And for Oregon Tech, John Fitzgibbons and Rick Todd of the Showboat Branson Bell. And now for your starting lineups. Starting at a guard for Mount Vernon Nazarene, a 6-foot junior from Archbold, Ohio, number 20, Dan Borcher. At a guard for Oregon Tech, a 6-foot sophomore from Bonanza, Oregon, number 3, Mike Neerot. At a guard for Mount Vernon Nazarene, a 6-foot 1-inch freshman from Orrville, Ohio, number 23, Brandon Short. At a guard for Oregon Tech, a 5-foot 8-inch junior from Atwater, California, number 5, Jawan Hodges. Starting for Mount Vernon Nazarene, a 6-foot 1-inch freshman from Sydney, Ohio, number 24, Andy Francis.
Called him a freshman, I think. Is it to say freshman?
For Oregon Tech, a 6-foot 7-inch senior from Medford, Oregon, number 15, Ryan Feige. For Mount Vernon Nazarene, a 6-foot 7-inch senior from Belleville, Ohio, number 34, Connor Gregg. For Oregon Tech, a 6-foot 8-inch junior from Perth, Australia, number 51, Josh Wetzler. For Mount Vernon Nazarene, a 6'4" junior from Lithopolis, Ohio, number 45, Jaden Thomas. And at center for Oregon Tech, a 6'10" junior from Mill Valley, California, number 55, Christian Kavanaugh. The head coach for Mount Vernon Nazarene is Scott Fleming. The head coach for Oregon Tech is Dan Miles. Our officials this evening are Daryl Foreman, Gary Durbin, and Tyrone Archie. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, the NAIA would like to recognize the 2 Champion of Character Award winners participating in this game. Andy Francis is Mount Vernon Nazarene's Champion of Character Award recipient. And Oregon Tech's Champion of Character is Nate Lewis. At this time, Alan Magnani and Bruce Haraldson will present our award winners with a certificate from the NAIA. Congratulations to these 2 award winners and to all 32 of our NAIA Champions of Character. Ladies and gentlemen, the National Association of Intercollegiate Athletics and its member schools are committed to promoting character development in collegiate athletics by embracing the values of respect, responsibility,
Welcome to the
integrity,
Keeter Gymnasium on the campus of College of the Ozarks in Point Lookout, Missouri. Mike McClure along with Dave Beckett, welcoming you to the 2008 NAIA Division II Men's Basketball National Championship. This opening round matchup will feature the number 11 seed Oregon Tech Hustlin' Owls and the Mount Vernon Nazarene University Cougars. Oregon Tech a record of 26-6 on the season. Mount Vernon Nazarene a record of 23-7. Winner of this contest will play tomorrow night at 9:15 p.m. Central Daylight Time against the winner of the game coming up next between Menlo, California and Evangel University out of Springfield. This one just about set to tip. Oregon Tech dressed in white, moving from right to left. Mount Vernon Nazarene in the blue jerseys with green trim, moving from left to right. The ball in the air. Daryl Foreman, Gary Durbin, Tyrone Archie, our 3-man officiating crew, and the Owls will control the opening tap. One of my favorite nicknames in this tournament every year, the Hustlin' Owls, have it in front court. Quickly at the free throw line, Josh Wetzler. On the wing, Mike Nerath. They work it on the left side to Juwan Hodges. Entry pass down low to Kavanaugh, knocked out of bounds. Dave, the storyline in this game immediately. Ben Falkenberg, the All-American for Mount Vernon Nazarene, not starting, will play, has been on crutches for about the last 10 days. Just came off of today battling an arch injury. And his status and how healthy he'll be is a big key for Mount Vernon Nazarene as they come up with a loose ball in backcourt, and a 3-ball in the air is good for Dan Borchert. His 70th 3 of the year, and the Cougars go on top 3-0.
And Borchert, Mike, has got looks like a little problem with his eyebrow up there, so it looks like they're kind of beat up are the Cougars, but they're ready to play. They want to play ball in this national tournament at Point Lookout, Missouri.
Ryan Fiji with a nice jumper off the window. 6'7" senior and the only senior for the Hustlin' Owls. He averages 20 points per game. Here's a 3-ball by Borchert, short. Scramble for the rebound, pulled away by Josh Wetzler for the Hustlin' Owls.
And, of course, Falkenberg coming in averaging 21.5 points per game, so it's going to be imperative that he comes in and makes some type of contribution because the Cougars, that's a lot of points to make up.
2-on-2 zone defense, 3-ball by Nerath will bounce out. And the rebound pulled away by Mount Vernon Nazarene's Brandon Short. Quickly in front court, left wing to Borchert, and again you can see that bandage above his right eye.
Don't know if that's covering up some stitches possibly, or maybe just a bump on the eyebrow, but he's out there playing nonetheless.
Looks uncomfortable. Here's Connor Gregg, missed it from point-blank range in the defensive rebound to Christian Kavanaugh. Oregon Tech averaging 85 points per game. Mount Vernon Nazarene averaging 83 points per contest, and both teams giving up about 70 points per game. Oregon Tech, the Cascade Collegiate Conference, received an at-large bid. Here is Fiji for 3. It's an air ball. And the rebound knocked out of bounds by Christian Kavanaugh. Mount Vernon Nazarene out of the American Mid-East Conference, also receiving an at-large bid. They are from Mount Vernon, Ohio, with a school enrollment of just under 2,700. Oregon Tech, Klamath Falls, Oregon, school enrollment of just over 3,300. It is Oregon Tech's 10th tournament appearance, including the last 6 years in a row, and they are 9-0 in first-round games. They have always won in the first round. Mount Vernon Nazarene down on the baseline. Pull-up jumper by Connor. There's Connor Gregg, the 6'7" senior from Belleville, Ohio.
Got a goaltending at the other end as the Hustling Owls hustling down the floor, Mike, and puts a shot up, and goaltending is called as it's coming off the board was the ball, and of course that is goaltending, and
Pass
score 5-4.
to Juwan Hodges. So he has 2, Fiji with the other 2 for the Hustling Owls. 5-4 lead for Mount Vernon Nazarene, 2.5 minutes into the first half. Andy Francis the point. Nice bounce pass down low. As going up for the shot and getting hammered is Connor Gregg. He will go to the free throw line for a couple of opportunities.
Nice bounce pass is Connor Gregg coming over from the right side to the left side. A quick cut, good screen. The ball arriving there just as Connor got there, and then a nice ball fake to get his defender up in the air and draws the 2-shot foul.
Connor Gregg, 6'7" senior, a 73% free throw shooter. First one in the air is up and in. He averages 11 points per contest. He and Evan Yates are the only 2 seniors for the Cougars. And we told you for the Hustling Owls, a team that just seems to be here year in and year out. Connor Gregg hits both free throws. It is a 7-4 lead for Mount Vernon Nazarene. As we played almost 3 minutes here in the first half. Bounce pass to Hodges. Short jumper is short. Long rebound tipped out to Ryan Fiji. Left baseline, Kavanaugh tries to use his height to his advantage. Whistle on the dribble drive and a holding foul called against the Cougars.
And Kavanaugh, 6'10", 220-pound junior for the Hustling Owls, getting the ball on the right baseline and then driving it into the lane and drawing the foul and ball out of bounds, as that's only the first team foul.
Hustling Owls down by 3, 7-4. We've played just over 3 minutes. Nice bounce pass, reverse layup, good for Christian Kavanaugh.
And there again, Mike, the ball was waiting as Kavanaugh cuts across the lane. The ball was already on the way, and it comes right down there as Kavanaugh stands his ground, and I believe it's going to be whistle for drawing the charging foul against the Cougars.
Yeah, Jaden Thomas.
So Kavanaugh doing it on both ends, receiving a nice bounce pass down low and scoring, going to the other end, standing his ground and drawing the charge.
Oregon Tech, a tournament record of 20-8, national champions in 2004 as a number 16 seed. In 1998, they were national runners-up as a 15 seed. They come into this tournament as the 11 seed. Again, a reverse layup, good for Christian Kavanaugh.
And Kavanaugh, working on a 15-point average, has already got himself going with 4 points for the Hustling Owls.
First lead of the night for Oregon Tech, 8-7, 16-15 to go here in the first half at College of the Ozarks. Down low, Connor Gregg puts it up and in. Connor Gregg hitting a team-high 63% from the field. Cougars retake the 1-point lead at 9-8.
And the aforementioned Ben Falkenberg for the Cougars, Mike, over there at the scorer's table, is going to want to come in at the next dead ball.
Nice give and go to Juwan Hodges for the easy bucket off the glass. 10-9, the Owls retake the lead. Dribble drive, Andy Francis, pull-up jumper from 15 will go in. He's a 6'1" junior from Sydney, Ohio, averaging 8 points per game.
Both teams liking to get it up down the floor and make 1 or 2 passes and get a shot up and see what happens. And pretty good percentage thus far. Also, it's 11-10 lead for the Cougars. 4
lead changes in the first 4.5 minutes. You got to like the way this one's setting up so far. Wanted to go down low to Kavanaugh, knocked out of bounds by Connor Gregg. And in for Mount Vernon Nazarene. Here's Ben Falkenberg, who needs 25 points for 2,000 in his career.
Not walking gingerly as far as that's concerned, but there's a difference between walking and running up and down the floor. But being the gamer that I'm sure he is, he's wanting to play.
Bryce Sanborn, the other Cougar in the ball game, is 6'8" sophomore from Dover, Ohio. A holding foul called by referee Daryl Foreman. On Andy Francis, his first. And in for the Hustling Owls, Ryan Beasley, a 6'4" junior from New Zealand. This is an international team. Josh Wetzler is from Perth, Australia. Little turnaround jumper by Fiji is up and check out Fiji. Ryan Fiji with 4 points. Hustling Owls retake the lead at 12-11. Long-range jumper, no good. Long rebound out to Christian Kavanaugh. Good bounce pass to Beasley for the basket. Critical assist by Juwan Hodges.
And Falkenberg could not get in the way that time. You could see the little bit of hesitation there because of the ankle and not wanting to hurt himself, so he didn't try to take the charge, get himself in position. He's got a long three, and the Hustling Owls coming away at the rebound. But Falkenberg that time was limited on the defensive end.
Jaden Thomas missed the three ball, 39% shooter from beyond the arc this season. Josh Wetzler baseline right. Has it poked out of bounds by Jaden Thomas. In for the Cougars. Brandon Short back in for the Hustling Owls will be Brent Johnson, a 6'7" sophomore from Medford, Oregon. Danny Miles in his 37th season as a head coach. Oregon Tech calling the timeout. 842 wins. That leads NAIA Division II coaches in victories. It ranks him 7th all-time among NCAA and NAIA coaches. That's a pretty impressive number.
An amazing record, and not only that, and in this day and time, the longevity at one school. You know, he's coached for 37 years, and for 37 years, he's been at Oregon Institute of Technology in Calumet Falls, Oregon. We've got 3 players on here, Mike, from South Medford High School. Probably does the Hustling Owls. Probably former teammates of Kyle Singler, who's now the big star down at Duke,
right?
Enjoying his freshman year. As that young man played, in fact, in Springfield, Missouri, at the Tournament of Champions in the middle of January last year.
1,205 games he has now coached in. 842 wins, 362 losses. That is a lot of national anthems. On the dribble drive, nice dish underneath to Wetzler, and he will turn it over on the steal by Mount Vernon Nazarene. In transition, Borcher. 3 ball on the wing by Falkenberg, no good. Going high for the rebound is Josh Wetzler, but the ball went over the top of the backboard, and the violation will give it back to the Hustling Owls.
Hustling Owls with a 14-11 lead over the Cougars of Mount Vernon Nazarene University. As we're just underway, 14 minutes and about 10 seconds to go in this first half of action here at Point Lookout, Missouri.
Biggest lead of the night for the Hustling Owls. Working on the wing to Ryan Feige. Number 2 on the career scoring list. Fadeaway jumper good as he adds 2 more to his total, has 6 in the game.
Nice smooth shot for a 6'7" guard, as that time he utilized his length and was able to get a nice smooth shot up and in for the Hustling Owls.
Big lineup they've got now, and except for Juwan Hodges is listed at 5'8". Straight on 3, buried by Dan Borcher. He is a transfer from Army. Played there his freshman year. Here's a straight on 3. No good by Hodges. Loose ball on the floor over toward the Cougar bench. And not able to save it in time. Mount Vernon Nazarene. It'll stay in the front court for Oregon Tech.
The Mount Vernon Nazarene Cougars doing a good job of blocking out, but just simply unable to get a handle on the ball, and then trying to save it was Falkenberg, and does go out of bounds off the hand of Falkenberg, and the Hustling Owls will put the ball in play.
At the high post, Feige puts it up with the left hand and in.
Tough matchup for the Cougars, Mike, as I've already talked about. He's 6'7" guard, and trying to guard him with the 6'2" guard for the Mount Vernon Nazarene University Cougars, and that's a tough matchup defense.
Did you notice the Hustling Owl mascot behind the team bench?
He's not hustling, though. He's just standing there.
18-14. Cougars down by 4.
As long as the Hustling Owl gets to come to the tournament, that's all the people who want to come down and see the hospitality here at College of the Ozarks.
Brandon Short hits the jumper. He's a 50% shooter from the field, a 6'1" freshman from Orrville, Ohio, averaging half a dozen. That'll make it 18-16. Hustling Owls by 2. 12.5 minutes to go before halftime.
And gone to his own, have the Cougars trying to negate that tough matchup defensively.
Double team the ball in the corner, but the Hustling Owls get it out on the wing to Ryan Feige. Here's a 3 ball in the air, off the iron for Ryan Beasley, and the rebound chased down by Dan Borcher. Across the timeline, pull-up jumper from 21, good.
Borcher comes across the timeline, looks at his teammates, didn't really see anything open, took a couple more dribbles, looked at his teammates, and just looked at the basket and made a 3.
He was second on the team in scoring last year and in 3-point baskets made. He led the team to the NAIA Division National Tournament by averaging 16 points in 2 games a year ago. Nice pass on the baseline to Hodges, and a prettier pass to Josh Wetzler for the easy basket.
Hustling Owls doing a good job of breaking down the defense as the Cougars coming to a double team off the zone on every pass, but the Hustling Owls doing a good job of moving the ball around.
Missing the reverse layup was Falkenberg. And the Hustling Owls quickly moving from right to left. Feige to the block, and he may be hurt. Feige is still down. Here is an outlet to Falkenberg. The basket is good, but we turn our attention underneath the basket at the other end, and Ryan Feige is in pain.
I couldn't tell, Mike, if maybe a couple of knees collided. I'm not quite sure, but at any rate, Feige is having a tough time getting up off the floor as the Cougars taking advantage on a 5-on-4 situation and pulling, in fact, out in front 21-20 over the Hustling Owls.
The basket was good for Falkenberg. And again, hate to see anybody get hurt at this level.
They are working on the knee, and like I say, I don't know if the knees collided a couple of from the opposition, or possibly might have planted wrong. It's hard to speculate, but the trainer out there, and hopefully he's going to be all right, Ryan Feige, but they'll miss him tremendously, just like we were talking about Falkenberg being out of the lineup for the Cougars.
We'll recap what has happened earlier today here at Point Lookout in the opening game. Raleigh-Massimino's Northwood Florida Club beating Bluefield out of Virginia 88-86. Second contest saw the 4th seed Walsh, Ohio over Judson out of Illinois 91-57. Norwood will play Walsh at noon tomorrow, Central Daylight Time. Oklahoma Wesleyan posting an upset over 12th seed William Penn out of Iowa, 75-73. Northwestern of Iowa, coached by Chris Korber, got a win over Minot State of North Dakota, 97-90. Northwestern of Iowa playing Oklahoma Wesleyan tomorrow at 1:45. Also earlier today, Morningside of Iowa, the number 3 seed, eliminating Indiana Tech, 73-67. They will play Grace, Indiana, who upset the number 14 seed Embry-Riddle out of Florida, 75-65. Morningside and Grace will play tomorrow at 5:45. And so we've got Oregon Tech and Mount Vernon Nazarene now, and the late game tonight, Menlo, California versus Evangel University out of Springfield, Missouri. Back to action, 21-20. Mount Vernon Nazarene with a 1-point lead. Juwan Hodges misses the jumper that would have given the Hustling Owls the lead, and here come the Cougars. Big collision at midcourt, and a blocking foul will be called against Oregon Tech.
And Ryan Feige, Mike, just to go ahead and inform our listeners, was helped off the floor, kind of under his own power, but also helped with the trainer, and makes me think that maybe kind of like hitting your elbow together and maybe just kind of a shock, so to speak. So I'm hoping possibly that he'll be back here before too awfully long for the fans of Oregon Institute of Technology.
Ben Falkenberg playing with an arch injury. Just came off of crutches today after being on it for about the last 10 days. Top of the circle, now they work it down low. Here's a strong move by Sanborn, puts the jumper up, no good. Well, I mean, look at all the arms above the rim going after the basketball. It's like feeding the fish.
Reaching up there, and the piranhas are looking for it. But back to Falkenberg, Mike, and of course, kind of an adjustment. Not only that, but not being able to play for 10 days. You know, he's just got to kind of get back in the flow, get a good sweat up, and just kind of relax a little bit. He's struggling a little bit from the field thus far, but I'm sure he'll get his shot going.
Foul line jumper by Miles Daly, no good. Tried to get his own rebound back, not able to do so, and here come the Cougars. Near steal by Mike Nerath as he knocks it out of bounds and goes flying into press row. Better them than us.
I'm glad it's on that end. We might have that little butterfly up above our eye.
10.5 minutes to go in the first half. 21-20, Mount Vernon Nazarene leading the 11th seed Oregon Tech. Hustling Owls in for Oregon Tech. Joel Matchett, and he'll replace Juwan Hodges. Andy Francis for the Cougars. Right wing Dan Borchert. Dribbles away from trouble, fires a baseball pass into Gregg for the easy 2. A bullet pass into Connor Gregg, who has 8, and a 3-point lead for the Cougars at 23-20 halfway through the first half.
Still in the zone are the Cougars as the shot is missed, but right there tipping the ball in was Miles Daly for the Hustling Owls.
Lewis missed the jumper, but Miles Daly in the right place at the right time, basically uncontested on that putback basket. 23-22, Cougars by 1 with the lead. 9:40 to go here in the first half. Opening round action of the 2008 NAIA Division II Men's Basketball National Championship from Point Lookout, Missouri, just a couple of miles south of Branson. Rainbow pass to Falkenberg. The shot clock at 7. Falkenberg all the way to the basket, kicks it out to Borchik. Shot clock at 3, jump shot up, bounces off the iron, no good. Defensive rebound to Christian Cavanaugh for the Hustlin' Owls. Long pass down court to Nate Lewis. And they work it down on the baseline to Christian Cavanaugh. Dribbles right in front of the Mount Vernon Nazarene bench. Neerath doesn't pull the trigger. Can get another opportunity. He will fire and miss this one. Rebound to Bryce Sandborg for the Cougars. Down low to Connor Gregg. Shot over Cavanaugh is good.
And both teams, Mike, just getting the ball out of the basket, getting it out of bounds, throwing it down floor and looking for that quick shot. And of course, Fiji's still out of there, but still a zone being employed by the Cougars of Mount Vernon Nazarene.
I mean, these guys can really get up in the air. We have seen a lot of action above the rim already in the first 10 minutes. Cavanaugh fires a 3 out of the baseline, no good. Offensive rebound to Nate Lewis. They'll try another 3. This one buried by Mike Neerath.
And the Owls might just want to keep the ball alive and hopefully one of their teammates get it. And that particular time, that's what happened, is getting a finger on the ball and just making it go back off the rim. And Owls coming away with it, and then another 2 points.
First tie of the night at 25 all as the ball knocked out of bounds. It'll belong to the Hustlin' Owls. Evan Yates, 6'5" senior from Lucasville, Ohio, in for the Cougars. Brandon Short back in, and coming back in for the Hustlin' Owls is Juwan Hodges. And making his first appearance for Mount Vernon Nazarene will be Josh Tagium. He's going to check into the next opportunity as the ball was already inbounded by Oregon Tech. Mike Neerath between the circles, Nate Lewis. Kick it on the left side to Juwan Hodges, posting up down low. Brent Johnson backs in on Connor Gregg. Jump shot in the middle of the lane, no good. Rebound pulled away by Jaden Thomas for Mount Vernon Nazarene. Nice ball fake by Borchert. Now spots up from 3 and buries it.
From 22, ball fakes and then takes one dribble, and from 20, he drains the three-pointer and makes it 28-25 in favor of the Cougars.
I mean, the ball fake just froze his defender. There was nothing he could do. He took one dribble and just spotted up from 3 and hit it all. Now the 3 ball good for Nate Lewis for Oregon Tech, just his 19th 3 of the year. 28-28, good ball game with 7:08 to go before halftime. 3 ball again by Borchert. Not the same result. This one clangs off the front of the rim.
Coming off the screen that time was Borchert, but good rebound by the Hustling Owls, coming back and setting up their offense. Kind of a man-to-man
Go back
defense
to a man
now.
this time.
Yeah.
Long-range jumper, no good by Neerath. Defensive rebound to Jaden Thomas, and Borchert will this time slow it down coming across the 10-second line. Look at the conversation at midcourt between the two guys getting ready to check in for the two teams. I mean, it's like they're long-lost buddies having a visit. Action goes on. A bounce pass and a turnover committed by the Cougars. Ben Falkenberg will check in for Mount Vernon Nazarene, and his new buddy over there at the scores table, Ryan Beasley, in for Oregon Tech.
They were buddies only while they were at the scores table. Now that they're on the floor, it's going to be a different thing. But yeah, it's good to look across here and see a little bit of camaraderie between two opposing players. But once they step on the floor, I'm sure that Falkenberg will want to get things going. They only played about 4 or 5 minutes, and of course, after being out for 10 days, you kind of got to get your wind back, but back out on the floor.
Near steal by the Cougars. Hodges, left wing Lewis for 3. Circles off the rim, no good. And the rebound to Mount Vernon Nazarene. Here's Falkenberg. Just 2 points so far in the half. Nice pass down low to Thomas, but he pushed off in an effort to get the basketball and gets caught by referee Darrell Foreman.
Instead of waiting till the ball gets over his head and then jumping for the ball, he pushed his would-be defender away and tried to go ahead and get the ball at an advantage. And, of course, that's what a foul is. Anytime you try to take an advantage and make some contact, and the official right there on the call for Thomas.
Under 6 minutes to go in the first half, tied at 28. Oregon Tech, the 11 seed, and Mount Vernon Nazarene doing battle here at College of the Ozarks. Here is Juwan Hodges, baseline jumper, high arcing shot is good.
Rainbow shot is down the lane. Had to shoot it over a 6'7" defender, as Hodges only a 6-footer, but he was able to get that ball in and pretty shot on the move.
He doesn't even go 6 foot. How about 5'8"? And that might be pushing it. Foul on Ryan Beasley of the Hustling Owls, his first. Neither team in the bonus. 3 team fouls on Oregon Tech, just 5 team fouls on Mount Vernon Nazarene. The players checking back in. Joel Matchett in for the Hustling Owls.
Shows good defense, good movement both ways as far as that's concerned. Like I say, we talked about how they like to get it up and down the floor, but both teams hustling. And, of course, the Hustling Owls and the Cougars matched up here, but both teams moving their feet very well and playing good defense, therefore not many fouls called.
Well, a lot of Christian Kavanaugh in the opening minutes. Haven't seen him in a while. He's had 4 points and did a good job rebounding the time he was in. 3 ball by Falkenberg, good.
And Falkenberg, after that one, goes in, turns and looks at his coach and raises his fist, pumps his fist, feeling like, yeah, I'm ready, coach. Now then, get me the ball. That's a 21-point score.
Dave, we'll see Jackson Capel from Evangel University in the next game. A terrific 3-point shooter. How about the 3 ball by Falkenberg? That was his 123rd of the year. 122 of 282 for 43%.
And you talked about Capel, he coming in with 127.
Yeah, and a 47% shooter from beyond the arc.
That's not shot, that's made.
Goodness. Borchert led all NAI Division II players by shooting 90% at the free throw line last year. Second on the team in scoring and 3 points made. That was Borchert, excuse me. His foul called out front by referee Tyrone Archie.
Hodges going into the lane and falls to the ground, and the officials forced the official to call something, and it was a trip called against the Cougars of Mount Vernon Nazarene. That'll be the 6th team foul. One more, and they'll be in the 1-and-1 will be the Hustling Owls.
First personal on Brandon Short. Falkenberg last year led NAI Division II in trays per game and ranked 4th in scoring, free throw shooting, and off the inbounds. Joel Matchett with the basket for Oregon Tech. And Hustling Owls quickly back in front court, nearly turned it over. Mount Vernon Nazarene almost with a steal. 32-31, Oregon Tech by 1. 4 minutes and change to go here in the first half. There's a strong move by Kavanaugh, puts it up and in. Again, we hadn't called his name in quite a while, but Kavanaugh with half a dozen here in the first half.
And Kavanaugh stepping through the double team. We talked about the double team on the baseline, and Kavanaugh just stepping through there and coming back across in underneath on a reverse little layup underneath.
Brandon Short, nice crossover dribble down the left block, maintains the shoulder-high right-handed dribble and brings it back out between the circles. Under 4 minutes to go in the half. Cougars down by 3 with possession of the ball. Borchert with a shot clock at 7. Straight on 3, rattles out halfway down, and the iron was not kind.
And just kind of hung on the rim and then fell back outside. It looked like that one's going to go down the well, but not the case as the Owls back the other way.
Ryan Beasley, they go down low to Kavanaugh. Hustling Owls save it before turning it over, as Kavanaugh is quickly covered up down in the low post.
We're talking about quick. It's been a quick first half. Not many stoppages, no free throws.
Yeah, we only had 2 free throws shot by Mount Vernon Nazarene. Here's a 3 ball by Beasley, good. 31st tray of the year for the junior from New Zealand. Timeout, Mount Vernon Nazarene.
As the Owls jump out to that 37-31 lead, minus their leading scorer, Ryan Fiji, who went down earlier with some type of knee injury. Hopefully he's going to be back for the Hustling Owls, but Oregon Tech just simply taking up the slack and able to come out to that 6-point lead. We're down to 3 minutes to go in this first half.
Haven't really seen Fiji since the injury occurred. And as we said, he talked about the fact he was able to go toward the bench under his own power, which was good. Because the hustling Owl, now he's hustling. Dave, he heard you over there in the corner.
You come over here and give you 5.
Love it. Love the
Hustling Owls. What a mascot. Takes everything to put on a good entertainment, and entertainment's what we're seeing. And This is basketball at its finest. You know, everybody says, well, it's NAIA Division II. It's still good basketball and good effort by both teams, and in particular in this game, an up-and-down type game here with 3 minutes to go in the first half.
As the number 7 seed last year, Oregon Tech beat Raleigh Massimino's Northwood, Florida team in the first round 90-72, but lost 95-82 to Indiana Wesleyan in round 2. Here's a straight-on 3 for Falkenberg. It's up and in.
2 in a row now for Falkenberg. He's hit his last 2 threes. And so Falkenberg now up to 8 points as he had a 2-pointer early.
Kavanaugh, a little up and under move, but he stepped on the baseline.
That time Kavanaugh could not step between the double teams, so he went baseline, took an extra step just before he put the ball up and stepped on the baseline, and the official right there on the turnover goes back to the Cougars.
Entertaining first half, 2:20 to go before intermission, 37-34, Oregon Tech by 3. Mount Vernon Nazarene with the ball, pull-up jumper by Falkenberg, too strong, and a tie-up on the rebound between Evan Yates and Christian Kavanaugh. The possession arrow will favor the Cougars.
But more importantly, as far as the Cougars are concerned, Mike, Falkenberg on that move got himself open. Yeah, you're going to miss a shot. That's part of basketball, but he's moving a lot better as Falkenberg for the Mount Vernon Nazarene Cougars.
Vernon Nazarene also eliminated in the second round a year ago. They lost to the eventual national champion Mid-American Nazarene Pioneers. Baseline jumper for 3 is good for Andy Francis. We are deadlocked at 37 with under 2 minutes to go in the half. Christian Kavanaugh right in the middle of the lane, puts it up with the right hand and is called for traveling.
That time straight man-to-man employed by the Cougars, and Kavanaugh trying to take advantage of it, but just got simply in too big of a hurry and takes the extra step. Turnover by the Hustling Owls.
Mount Vernon Nazarene's 7th tournament appearance, including 3 in a row, and they are 4-2 in first-round games, an overall tournament record of 9-6. Nice move down to the low post by Andy Francis for the easy basket.
And now you're having to put so much more emphasis defensively on Falkenberg, knowing that he's got his shot back and everything. Now then, the rest of the Cougars are moving around and getting some open shots in underneath.
Falkenberg is just a junior. How scary is that? Lob backdoor to Miles Daly. Big collision and a whistles underneath the basket. He called on Evan Yates, his first personal. In for the Hustling Owls, Nate Lewis, 6'2" junior from Culver, Oregon. And for the first time tonight, the Hustling Owls will go to the free throw line. On the year, a 71% free throw shooting team. Mount Vernon Nazarene very similar at 70%. This will be Miles Daly, who was shooting just 53% from the stripe this year. First one front end, the 1-and-1 is good.
And I really don't see why, because it's a pretty good looking free throw, Mike. A lot of times whenever you're shooting 53% late in the season, as we are right here, kind of struggle on the release, but looks pretty good, both of them.
Got them both to go down the well. Daly with 4 on a 7-point per game average. Deadlocked at 39 with 70 seconds to go before half. 4 ties in the half, 25, 28, 37, and 39. 3 ball by Falkenberg, not quite. Nice strong defensive rebound by Christian Kavanaugh. Quickly in front court, Miles Daly. May have drugged the pivot foot just a bit. Nate Lewis for the Hustling Owls. 46 seconds on the game clock, shot clock at 19. Hodges between the circles over to Nate Lewis. Shot clock under 10. Miles Daly drives, loose ball on the floor, picked up by the Hustling Owls. Baseline jumper by Hodges, air ball. That's not going to stop the shot clock. And the Cougars have it quickly in front court with 21 seconds. Oh, stop and go move by Falkenberg. Aggressive move to the basket, and he is fouled.
And goes to the floor hard, but Falkenberg has got all the confidence in the world now. Early in the game, when he first came in, Mike is very tentative, but now then he's taking it to the basket against the big boys and is thrown to the ground pretty forcefully, but that's just the way part of basketball. Good hard foul, and Falkenberg will step to the line to shoot 2 shots.
Last year, a 90% free throw shooter. This year, 91%. First one in the year and in. He has 9 here in the half. Dave from the free throw line this year, 95 of 104. Blake Ahern-esque.
Oh, wow.
Second one good. People are going, who's Blake Ahern? Well, he played at nearby Missouri State University up in Springfield and led the nation
3 out of 4 years. They were his freshman, sophomore, and senior year, or junior year, and then his senior year, he was within 3/10 of 1 point.
10 seconds to go in the half, 41-39. Owls down by a basket for the lead. 3 ball up by Beasley, no good. Cougars with the rebound with 2 seconds. They'll get a shot from half court. Borchett just short. It was on line and missed off the front of the rim. What a half. Mount Vernon Nazarene leading the Oregon Tech Hustlin' Owls 41-39 as we will take a look at the first half scoring totals. First of all, for the Cougars, Dan Borchett averaging 11, has 11 in the actually has 12 here in the first half. Connor Gregg also in double figures with 10. Ben Falkenberg with 9. Andy Francis has 7. And Brandon Short will round out the scoring for the Cougars with 2 points. For Oregon Tech in the first half, their leading scorer was Ryan Feige, who had 8 points. It will be 6 points for Juwan Hodges, 6 points for Christian Cavanaugh, 5 for Ryan Beasley, 4 points apiece for Miles Daly, 3 for Nate Lewis, 3 for Mike Neroff, 2 points for Joel Matchett. I left Nate Lewis off on that list. He had 3. That's him I was looking at earlier. And Josh Wetzler, the big 6'8 junior from Australia, with 2 points. Hustlin' Owls 2 for 2 from the free throw line. And Mount Vernon Nazarene going 4 for 4 from the stripe. A 41-39 lead for the Cougars, and just a very entertaining half of basketball here at College of the Ozarks. The second half comes your way in approximately 9 minutes. We invite you to stay tuned here on NAIA.org.
That's quick, wasn't it? No freeze bang. Looked up there and there's 4 minutes to go.
number 41, Miles Bailey. 30-second timeout. Customer out. Foul number 51, Joshua Wetzler, his third. Checking in for the Cougars, number 23, Brady Mitchell Short. Checking in for Oregon Tech, number 3, Mike Lerock. Also in for the Hudson Owls, number 5, Juwan Hodges.
shooter. Front end to 1-and-1, no good. Ryan Fiji with the rebound. Well, all of a sudden, Cougars struggling at the free throw line, just 5 for 9, including 1 for 5 here in the second half. After going 4 for 4 from the stripe in the first 20 minutes. And Hustling Owls spread the floor. Hodges right down the middle of the lane. Kavanaugh too far underneath the basket. Wrap around pass to Wetzler, but a 3-second violation.
As Kavanaugh was down there and made a move, decided he was going to pass it off, and by the time, it doesn't take long for 3 seconds to go off, and the official right there making the correct call, 3-second call, turnover against the Owls.
Tyrone Archie, Gary Durbin, Daryl Foreman, our 3-man officiating crew. Deep 3, Falkenberg, good. His 3rd tray of the night. He has 13 points.
First points of the second half, too. Down to 3 minutes and 13 seconds to go in this game. A 10-point lead enjoyed by Oregon Tech Hustling Owls over Mount Vernon Nazarene Cougars.
Again, the winner of this game will play at 9:15 p.m. Central Daylight Time tomorrow night. They'll get the winner of the game coming up next between Menlo, California, and number 6 seed Evangel University Crusaders out of Springfield, Missouri. The Heart of America Conference, which next year the Heart of America Conference goes to NAIA Division I. Their conference qualifiers, of course, will be playing at the Municipal Auditorium in Kansas City starting in March of 2009.
And that's going to take a lot of ranked teams this particular year, because the Heart of America has this year is very strong. In fact, Mid-America Nazarene, the number 2 seed in this national tournament, is a part of the Heart of America Conference, and as is Evangel Crusaders, also in the Heart of America Conference, as you said, but they're also ranked. I believe they're seeded 6th in this tournament, so that's going to take 2 of the top 10 at least out of the Division II for next year down here at Point Lookout, Missouri. But still be a fine tournament. But that, for your information, that entire conference will be going NAIA Division I.
Last year in the national tournament, Mount Vernon Nazarene played Mid-American Nazarene as close as anybody did. It was just a 2-point victory for the Pioneers, 75-73 in round 2. And Rocky Lamar's Pioneer Club going on to win the national championship here at College of the Ozarks last March. Full court press by the Cougars. The Owls will get it across the timeline. 3-on-1 break. The layup missed by Beasley. Cougars catch a break there.
And that time, Mike, the Owls did not make the extra pass. They had someone open, but his exuberance to get to the basket didn't make that extra pass, went ahead and took the shot, and it does fall off the rim.
Falkenberg to the block is fouled. Josh Wetzler, nope.
Going to be 2 shots for Falkenberg as he'll step to the line.
Miles Daly's 3rd personal foul.
And try to cut into this 10-point deficit facing the Mount Vernon Nazarene Cougars.
You know Falkenberg can shoot free throws. His team down by 10 with 2:49 to go. First one up and in. 14 for Falkenberg. Mike Neroth back in for Oregon Tech, replacing Ryan Beasley. Second one in the air by Falkenberg will bounce in. He has 15 on a 21-point per game average. 8-point lead for the Owls, 2:45 to play.
And again, being a 6'7" guard as Fiji is, as Fiji is, he can overlook the defense. The double team's coming, and a little bit of hesitation dribble there, and the Owls were able to draw the foul and step to the line for a 1-and-1 situation.
We've got Ride the Ducks in Branson. That was Ride the Back for about 6 feet.
That's Dixie Stampede type.
Goodness. 4th personal foul on Brandon Short. And Juwan Hodges at the stripe for the Hustling Owls. 69% free throw shooter, averaging 11 points, has 12 tonight. Oregon Tech looking for win number 27 on the year. Running into the 1-and-1 is good. Hodges has 13.
And to protect that lead, it's very important that you hit your free throws, as Hodges hitting the first of many that the Hustling Owls will be able to shoot the next 2 minutes and 34 seconds to go.
Still time for the Cougars. Second free throw good. Hodges with 14. Back to a 10-point lead at 75-65. Hustling Owls with 2.5 minutes to go. Falkenberg to the block, puts it up and in. Timeout, Mount Vernon Nazarene after the Falkenberg bucket. Ben was 17 to lead the Cougars tonight. So an 8-point lead at 75-67, full timeout.
Timeout taken by Coach Scott Fleming to talk about his defense, whether they're going to double team the ball on the throw in or on the second pass. Coach Miles on the other end wanting to make sure, one, you get the ball in play, and two, you get the ball right back to where it came from. That way that makes it tough for the defense to adjust. So it's a situation where strategy is going to be key, but coaches can only do so much. The players got to perform out there on the floor and hit their free throws, do the hustling now if they're going to want to win this ball.
6 ties in the contest, the last one coming at 50 apiece. It was a 41-39 lead for the Cougars at halftime. They stretched that lead to as many as 5 at 48-43. For a tremendously strong run by the hustling Owls. One time a 20-7 run, 1 point in the second half. They pretty much maintained that double-digit lead. The Owls Cougars a couple of times cut it down to 8. Got as close to 7 at 65-58, 67-60 again, but again, for the most part, the lead anywhere from 8 to 12.
8-point deficit facing the Cougars, but also the possession arrow favoring the Cougars if there is a held ball situation.
Full court press by Mount Vernon Nazarene. Owls get it across the timeline, and they quickly go into the 4 corners. Near midcourt, it's Ryan Feige. Boy, who do you foul if you're the Cougars? Owls are all pretty good free throw shooters. Feige at 79% has it. Fires a pass to Neroff. Pull-up jumper by Hodges. No good. Defensive rebound, Mount Vernon Nazarene with time, 1:50 down by 8. Three-pointer by Falkenberg. Good!
Down to 5 is the lead of the Owls as Falkenberg just throws a dagger in from about 24 feet out. And now then the Owls get across half court and are going to elect to go ahead and run some clock one more time.
Don't need to foul here with 1:20 to go, but they do at midcourt. Still 20 seconds on the shot clock.
Number 22,
Ben Falkenberg's second personal. And it will send Juwan Hodges to the free throw line at 69%. Has 14 points thus far in the game.
Just made 2 previous time that the Owls put on the free throw line.
It is a 1-and-1. And the first one will rattle out. Defensive rebound, Mount Vernon Nazarene. Oh, the Cougars could make this interesting. Falkenberg passes into Yates, who is fouled. Holding foul called down low on Brent Johnson.
Stepping to the line will be Evan Yates for the Mount Vernon Nazarene, the recipient of a nice bounce pass by Falkenberg as he goes in, did Falkenberg for a layup. The defense comes over there and forced a foul were the Owls, and Yates stepping to the line for 2 shots.
Just a 59% free throw shooter. First of 2, good. His first point of the game, and he averages 4 points on the season.
The rest of the fouls by the Owls, Mike, will send the Cougars to the line for 2 shots, as that is their 9th team foul.
It was a 13-point lead at 73-60. He makes both free throws, and it's a 1-possession game. 75-72. Oregon Tech by 3 with the ball and 1:10 to go.
And now just play defense, straight up defense. You don't have to foul. Just go ahead and make them take a tough shot and take the chances on whether it goes in or not.
Dribble drive, Feige gets it to go.
Down the left side, and Feige going very hard with that injured knee, but now then Falkenberg down the other end puts a shot up and in.
He answers from his own basket. He has 22. So back to a 3-point lead for Oregon Tech, 77-74, 48 seconds to play in the game. Again, a situation where Mount Vernon Nazarene does not need to foul. 15-second differential between game clock and shot clock. The Cougars can make a stop. They'll have a chance to tie it with 3. They'll look to try and get a quick two. Danny Miles wants a timeout. Going to dribble to the bench and call a timeout. Stops the clock with 26.9 seconds to go on the game clock, 11 seconds on the shot clock.
Full timeout taken by Coach Danny Miles, and the ball is going to be out of bounds right in front of his right in front of his bench. That's where the Coach Miles wanted the ball to be before he calls timeout, simply because if there is a tough situation getting the ball in, he can communicate with his person that's throwing the ball in and get another timeout.
You don't have 842 wins.
No. If it comes to coaching, he's one of those sly coaches, because with, like you say, 842 wins, he's been in this situation many, many times. But on the other end, Coach Fleming, with over 20 years experience, he's drawing up some type of defense to see. And there again, from Coach Fleming's standpoint, you don't know whether he's going to want to double team the ball or maybe just play straight up defense and make him take a tough shot. But with the matchups offensively by the Oregon Tech hustling Owls, it's pretty tough to just go ahead and let Fiji, as a guard at 6'7", just go ahead and let him go one-on-one. So I'll look for them to maybe double team the ball once Fiji gets it.
14-4 run by Mount Vernon Nazarene after trailing 73-60. Here we go. 27 seconds to play in the game, 11 seconds on the shot clock, and the Owls are going to be forced to use a timeout before a 5-second violation. And David, a great call by you. By them having it at their bench, you could hear the bench screaming timeout.
And if you're on the other side of the floor, even though this is kind of a small gymnasium, but still, if the crowd gets into the ball game, which it was, then it's tough to holler all the way across the floor, get your players' attentions. But right there in front of the bench, Coach Miles calls another timeout, another full timeout, in fact. And I believe two more timeouts for Oregon Tech, and likewise two for Mount Vernon Nazarene. So now you change your play. Maybe you change the defense also, but as far as Fleming, the strategy comes. A 3-point difference here and 26.9 seconds to go in the ball game. Super ball game, just like it was the first half. Second half been just like the first.
So same scenario. 27 to play, 11 on the shot clock. This time they do get it in bounds to Ryan Fiji. Last time he aggressively drove all the way to the basket, and he is fouled by Brandon Short, who was just fouled out of the game.
And credit that to Fiji, Mike, because he just, there again at 6'7", he was able to protect the ball and hold the ball up over his head and was able to draw the foul as the Cougars disputing the call, but that's not going to make any difference. Fiji's going to have a 1-and-1 situation for the Owls with a 3-point lead with 21.9 seconds to go. Still a long time to go.
Fiji, 79% free throw shooter on the year.
And look for Falkenberg to have it in his hands and come down and drive the lane. They'll spread out the floor, give a driving lane for Falkenberg, and either take the shot or dish it off, as he's done the entire game.
Fiji's made more free throws than anybody else on his team has attempted, and he misses the front end, the 1-and-1, but an offensive rebound by the hustling Owls as Miles Daly now has it stolen by Ben Falkenberg. They can tie it with a 3, 13 seconds to play in the game. Falkenberg out near midcourt, guarded by Ryan Fiji. 7 seconds to go. They need a 3 to tie it. Falkenberg at the head of the circle. 3 ball in the air. No good. 3-point shot at the buzzer for the tie. No good as Evan Yates got the offensive rebound, and the 3 from baseline right misses.
And the difference in the ball game, 6'7" guard playing defense this time on Falkenberg, as Falkenberg is 5'11" and going up against the 6'7" Fiji, and Fiji was not going to let Falkenberg take that 3-point shot, and that 6'7" frame forced him to force a shot. Did get another shot, did the Cougars, online, but just a little bit short, and they fall 3 points short.
How about the effort by Yates, though, to have the presence of mind to get back out beyond the 3-point arc with the clock's running down. He's saying, I've got to get this shot in the air.
And it was right there, just one of those situations that it just didn't go down this time, and the Owls come away with a 77-74 win over the Cougars.
So Oregon Tech will play tomorrow night at 9:15 p.m. Central Daylight Time, 7:15 out in Oregon. So they improved to 27-6 with the victory, and Mount Vernon Nazarene season ends at 23-8. And Dave, now 10-0 in first round games. Oregon Tech never having lost in the first round. Their 10th tournament appearance, including 6 years in a row, and they stayed perfect in round one. But boy, they earned the victory tonight. They had to scrap for everything they got in a terrific victory by Oregon Tech. Recapping the scoring in this